Mirrors. They reflect the world around us, but sometimes they show more than what's in front of them. Tonight's story is about a family who inherited an antique mirror, unaware of the horrors it held. What they thought was just an old relic became a window into a terrifying realm of whispers, shadows, and the unknown. This is the story of the Whispering Mirror, where the line between reflection and reality begins to blur. Sarah and Matt had just moved into an old house, one they had bought for a good price. The house was full of forgotten treasures, relics from the past left behind by previous owners. While unpacking, Sarah found something that caught her eye: an antique mirror covered in dust and wrapped carefully in cloth, as if someone had tried to forget it existed. The mirror was beautiful, with an intricate gold frame and a smooth surface that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Sarah was thrilled with her discovery, eager to give it a new place in their home. Matt, though not as impressed, helped her hang it in the hallway. It was the perfect centerpiece, reflecting the long, dark corridor behind them. But as they stood back to admire it, neither of them noticed the faint whisper that seemed to come from within the glass. Sarah and Matt had just moved into an old house, one they had bought for a good price. The house was full of forgotten treasures, relics from the past left behind by previous owners. While unpacking, Sarah found something that caught her eye: an antique mirror covered in dust and wrapped carefully in cloth, as if someone had tried to forget it existed. The mirror was beautiful, with an intricate gold frame and a smooth surface that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Sarah was thrilled with her discovery, eager to give it a new place in their home. Matt, though not as impressed, helped her hang it in the hallway. It was the perfect centerpiece, reflecting the long, dark corridor behind them. But as they stood back to admire it, neither of them noticed the faint whisper that seemed to come from within the glass. The first few nights passed without incident. The house creaked and groaned like any old home would, but nothing unusual happened. At least, not at first. Then, late one night, Sarah woke up to a sound that made her skin crawl. It was faint, almost inaudible at first, but unmistakable. The sound of someone whispering in the hallway. She sat up, straining to hear. The whispers were low, unintelligible, but growing louder. They seemed to be coming from the mirror. Her heart pounded as she made her way down the hall, each step slower than the last. The whispers grew louder, more distinct as she approached the mirror. She stood in front of it, staring at her reflection, but something was off. The face in the glass was hers, but it didn't feel like it. The air around her was thick with tension, the whispers swirling around her like a breeze she couldn't feel.
Is someone there?
She whispered back, her voice trembling. And then, she saw it. Just for a moment, a shadow moved behind her in the reflection. It wasn't Matt, who was still asleep in bed, and it wasn't her imagination. The shadow moved deliberately, shifting in the glass as if someone, or something, was standing just out of sight. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She stepped closer to the mirror, her fingers trembling as they brushed the cold surface. As her fingers touched the glass, the whispers stopped. The silence was sudden and deafening, pressing in on her from all sides. She pulled her hand away quickly, but froze when she saw what was left behind: a faint handprint on the glass, pressed against the inside of the mirror. It was as if someone, or something, on the other side had reached out to meet her touch. Sarah stumbled back, her heart racing. She ran back to the bedroom, where Matt slept peacefully, unaware of the terror she had just faced. She climbed back into bed, pulling the covers tight around her, trying to convince herself it had been a dream, a trick of the light. But deep down, she knew something was wrong with that mirror, something far worse than she could explain. The next day, Sarah avoided the hallway mirror as much as she could. But every time she passed it, she felt its presence, like it was watching her, waiting for her to look into it again. That night, the whispers returned, louder and more insistent. This time, they woke Matt as well. He tried to calm her down, brushing it off as just old house noises, but even he couldn't ignore the growing unease that filled the house. Sarah and Matt stood in front of the mirror together, listening as the whispers grew louder, filling the hallway with an eerie hum. And then, just as suddenly as they started, the whispers stopped. The silence was quickly shattered by a loud bang from the other side of the glass, as if something or someone was trying to get out. They both jumped back, staring at the mirror in horror. Something was trapped inside and it wanted out. Desperate to escape, they ran to the front door, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers turned into a deafening roar, filling their ears, their minds, until they could barely think. And then, with a thunderous crack, the mirror in the hallway shattered. A dark figure stepped out from the broken glass, its form twisted and unnatural, like a nightmare come to life. It had been watching them all along, waiting for the right moment to break free. The figure moved closer, its shadow stretching across the floor, enveloping them both in darkness. And just before everything went black, they heard it. The faintest whisper, "You let me in." Thank you for joining me for tonight's terrifying tale. If this story left you with a chill, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more haunting stories. Tune in tomorrow for another episode that will make you question every reflection you see. Until next time, be careful what you look for in the mirror. You might not like what looks back.